Kasasagi Usagi, and I am here with more Final Fantasy XIV, where we will be continuing patch 3.4. And maybe some other things. I don't know. I don't know how long this patch is. We got Q here. I'm going to hop in a voice with her real fast. If I can find my own chat. All beans. There she is. Hello, hello, Q.
Hello.
Hello. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alphino would like nothing more than to get out of the snow. Forgive me, this is neither the time nor the place for idle introspection. The knights can appraise Lord Edmund of our success, and we the Lord Commander. More importantly, I should like to see if my sister's condition has improved. You may take a moment for yourself if you wish. I will be at the congregation. Ooh. It brings me joy to see you safely return to us, Akali. What news from Zelvatol? Then we were not too late. On behalf of Ishgard, I offer you my deepest thanks. As for we who remain behind, Mistress Y'shtola has been tending to Mistress Alisei in your absence, and I am pleased to report that she has regained consciousness. I imagine you have many questions, especially given your recent encounter with the Warriors of Darkness. I know I do. Come, let me show you to her room. Do not worry, her condition is much improved. She is a resilient one, much like her brother.
Alizé, how are you feeling?
Well enough, brother. Thanks to the kindness of our hosts. When they told me you had departed for Zelvatol, I found that I could rest. The outcome seemed a mere formality, as did your safe return. Thank you, my friend.
I take it your mission was a success.
As if we needed any further confirmation that they are in league with the Ascians.
I will not eat your carrot nose, Sprightly, mostly because rabbits cannot eat carrots. So you have nothing to fear, but it is good to see you here, Sprightly. I thought you were absent. I thought you were going to be absent for a while, because you have a super secret meeting.
But to save another world? I think not.
I too thought his story fanciful at first, but it is possible there may be a kernel of truth in all of this. At the very least, none of his claims contradict the word's account.
You were following these people, Alizé. Why?
Fair enough, fair enough.
During my travels, I had oft enjoyed tales of the Scions and their exploits, but after a time, I began to hear whispers of a gifted and theretofore unknown band of adventurers. Adventurers who had supposedly sworn to travel the realm slaying primals in the Scion's stead.
The Warriors of Darkness. And in the course of investigating these rumors, you stumbled upon the Ascians' involvement.
Yes, exactly.
Forgive me, but if these Warriors of Darkness mean to bring about another calamity, to what end do they hunt primals?
To prompt an escalation. to deepen the beast tribe's feelings of helplessness and despair, and thereby drive them to summon ever more powerful gods. And lest we forget, these events do not occur in isolation. With their patron deities being slain left and right, the news of man's victory over Nidhogg must surely have sown panic in the minds of the beastmen. 'Tis no wonder they wish to defend themselves.
Power answered with greater power. Death with more death. A vicious cycle fueled by fear and hatred. I know it's like all too well.
Indeed. The Ascians sow discord and desperation, and the warriors of darkness reap the harvest. And so it continues. Yet that is not the extent of their ambitions. The Ascian himself observed that once the powerless realize that the old gods have failed them, they will have little recourse but to look to a new one.
We cannot let that happen.
It should come as no surprise, but Alizé and I have uncovered evidence that the Ascians have been manipulating certain parties to ensure that a constant stream of crystals flows into the hands of the beast tribes.
Hello, hello, Atrax.
If we sever these supply lines, we should at least be able to slow the escalation.
Agreed. Kral and I shall journey to Zelphatol and learn what we can of the Ixal's source.
Then I, for my part, pledge to lead a similar investigation into the origin of the Nath supply.
Sir Emmerich?
As a member of the Eorzean Alliance, Ishgard is honor bound to play an active role in maintaining the security of the realm. You might also say that I have some personal motivation, given the Ascians' dealings with my father. However, I make no secret of the fact that my knowledge of primal beings is scant at best. As such, I should be most grateful if one of your order were to assist me.
Allow me, Sir Emmerich. I have dealt with the Nath before.
Let us consult with Orianja then. Given his dedication to the study of primal beings, I should be surprised if he could not tell us something of value.
Most excellent, Sprightly.
Allow me to accompany you, brother. And before you think to refuse, know that I am not the girl I once was. I shall not be a burden. You have my word.
But Alizé, you... You are more than welcome. After all, it was you who set us upon this path.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid I can't allow you to leave just yet. Not until you try on the new outfit I prepared for you.
To think that the three of us plumbed the depths of the coils and confronted Bahamut himself. Had I not been there, I would struggle to believe it. Shortly after we parted ways, I heard that she had taken to the road on her own, apparently on a journey of self-discovery. Precisely where to I never learned, though I suspect that was by design. So she enjoyed hearing tales of our exploits, did she? My apologies for keeping you waiting. Right then, shall we be off? Tataro never ceases to impress, though for a moment I feared she might furnish you with an identical outfit. Praise the 12 that she did not. Mother and father were rather too fond of making us wear matching clothes. Do you remember that time at the stadium when the girl of yours crept up behind me in the hall and whispered, "Sister, please, she was not my..." Can we not have this conversation in front of the Warrior of Light? So be it. Another time, perhaps. To be honest, Akali, I wasn't planning on seeking you out just yet. When I set forth on my journey, I did so with grand ambitions. As you may recall, I promised I would not disappoint you. I pray you will forgive me if I do. I've been meaning to ask about the carriage. She was the one that took the carriage that picked us up from Ul'dah on the night of the bloody banquet. Ah yes, the carriage that so fortuitously arrived to spirit us away from Ul'dah after the banquet. Thank you, Alphino. The driver informed me that I had my sister to thank for his presence in Ul'dah. How did you know to send help? Ah, drunken brass blades are even less discreet than sober ones. Unfortunately, by the time I learned of the plot, it was too late to do anything more. Frankly, I'm amazed Bremond managed to find you. New garments aside, I must say you seem different, more resolute than when we last met. You have the look of a woman who is ready to fight for the future of Eorzea. To the extent of my abilities, perhaps, but I have no delusions of grandeur, nor will I pretend to have found myself or any such thing. I'm here today because I would regret it if I weren't. That is all. Fair enough. Let us depart for the Waking Sands and see if Urianger can be of assistance.
Pray return to the Waking Sands.
Pray return to the Waking Sands.
So, that elf, the Warrior of Darkness elf that, like, gave us a look.
Yes.
My thought process might be terribly wrong, but I wonder if he's Urianger.
What makes you say so?
Because Urianger is working with Ascians, as we already know.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Is that the thought process?
And, like, why would the elf stay back and just, like, look at us? And then we're like, we're not friends with you, or, like, whatever Alphino said.
You
And
have
then
no
he
friends
left.
here. Yep.
Yeah. And I think he's the only one that's covering his face.
The other elf, which is the black mage in their group, is also covering their face.
Oh, I see.
Although that is a black mage look. They cover one of their eyes because of void stuff. I can't remember why exactly. It's about void stuff. Because black mages... Fuck, I can't recall. Void. Urianger, apologies for calling you upon you unannounced. Why, Master Elfino, would that the scholar had seen fit to grant me knowledge of thy coming. What bringeth thee and thine here this day? The warriors of darkness have returned. Pray allow us to explain. I too have heard tales in recent days of primal beings rising up only to be cast down by forces unknown. Alas, as thou didst observe, this serveth but to spur the beast tribes to pursue their goals with redoubled fervor. We have two objectives at this time: to identify and remove the source of the beast tribes' crystals, and to take direct action to prevent any further summoning rituals from reaching completion. The second is easier said than done, of course. While we were fortunate enough to learn of the Ixal's plans before they came to fruition, I should be surprised if the Warriors of Darkness and the Ascians did not have similar designs elsewhere of which we have no knowledge. Thou wert wise to come hither, for this very day did I receive tidings most troubling from across the Strait of Mirthor. Ogomoro stirreth, and there are whispers that the Lord of Crags neareth his return. Mere rumours, mark thou, but in light of thy own discoveries, thou canst ill afford to turn a deaf ear to their claims. Aye, we must ascertain the truth of the matter for ourselves. Let us consult with the Maelstrom forces stationed at Camp Overlook, Akali. Thank you for your counsel, Arianje. Pray inform us should you learn aught else. I shall. If I may, brother. Arianje, is there anything else you would like to say? Alize? If not, then never mind. I only ask because you are normally rather more verbose. Nothing to add? Very well. Ere we depart, I wish to make a request. The Warriors of Darkness spoke of how the Ador had the power to break down the barriers between planes, that our worlds might be rejoined. I would ask that you research this for us. Being nowhere near as well read as you, I am sure I wouldn't know where to begin. That said, I've heard tell of a promising tome, the Gurnrun Oracles. Perhaps you could start there. By thy leave. Camp Overlook, was it? Very well. I would say that perhaps you and Alize have a similar thought process.
Hey.
She really
I'm
got
on
up in
to
your
you.
grill there, didn't she, my man?
I'm on to you, Arianje.
Camp Overlook. I will say, a lot of times in Final Fantasy, it's not so much like the who so much as it is the why. There is in Shadowbringers there's another character, and we won't say their name for obvious spoiler reasons, but it was called from the beginning who that character was, and we were all right. But it wasn't so much like, yes, it was obvious, because who else could it be? But it was, why did this have happened, and for what purpose? And that was the most exciting thing about all of it. 7 hells, at this rate I'll have to appeal to the Maelstrom Command for reinforcements. Whatever it is, we don't want any. Well, fancy that! Just when my kobold problems look to be coming to a head, the sign of the 7th dawn turn up, itching to pinch in. Bloody brilliant timing is what it is. Right then, let's get to it. Commander Bloden is eager to put you to work. So our friendly neighbors in Ungamoro have been much more aggressive of late, as you said. Matter of fact, our scout spotted one sniffing about the stores just now, likely looking to make off with an armful of crystals. I'll be damned if I'm about to let that happen. Lend a hand and help us search the camp for the little bugger, would you? Busy here in this camp. You've spoken with the commander, then? Our Maelstrom friends seem notably more agitated than when we first arrived. Do you happen to know why that might be? A kobold in the camp, you say? That would appear to corroborate Uriandra's information, yes, but to be so reckless as to infiltrate a Maelstrom camp and draw attention to their efforts is passing strange. There will be a time to think on this later. For the present, we must do everything in our power to prevent Titan summoning, and that means finding and questioning this kobold. Aw, I'm sorry, Sprightly. But yeah, you actually can't buy this game in North America anymore because of how full the servers are.
Damn.
There's been a lot of big WoW streamers that have come to play this game, and their like followers have all come, and it has very much overloaded the game, which is not meant to have this many people on it. And I don't think that we're getting new servers anytime soon. Because we just got Crystal last year. Or 2 years ago when Shadowbringers dropped. And they are currently putting all their resources into Oceania server. Which might help the load of a bunch of Oceania people. Scooch. But that won't be till a while. I think after Endwalker drops. One of the scouts said he looked quite small for a kobold. Could he be hiding somewhere like this? Have you found the little lad?
I have not found the little lad. Alphino said that with all the commotion, the kobold would want to leave soon.
I found him.
So I thought he would be near the exits.
You were right.
Hey! Oh. I just got rid of all my raptor sinew.
I know, I'm sorry.
How could you do this?
If you didn't just throw it out, you're trying to sell it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, that's free money.
Oh yeah, I'm getting money left and right.
Hell yeah. Stay back! Away! Far back! I'm not... It's no use. Pointless, hopeless, no use. What's up? Oh, did I get out of my whale too early?
I got him, he's right on me.
Please don't hurt me. I only wish to talk. Yes, just talk. This was a stupid plan. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But if I tell no one, then everyone will. Ah, she found me again. What to do? I come in peace, only to talk. Speak, say, talk. So please, please do not hurt me. So this is our wily kobold infiltrator, is it? No wonder the soldiers were on edge. You could have very well, he could have very well give you one, bruised knee. Huzzah! We've got him. Fine work, scions. So, little one, thought you could sneak into my camp, did you? Plotting to steal me crystals, were ye? No, I come to talk, to ask for help, but when your soldiers saw me, they drew their weapons and shouted, and no. Let us all take a deep breath and discuss this like civilized individuals. What is your name, child? Pickman Gabu of the 620th Order. At least I will be a Pickman one day. Well met, Gabu. I am Alphino, and this is my sister, Alize. Alakali, the woman who found you, is our friend. And now that you know our names, we can be friends too. Now, Commander Bolden here thinks you wanted to take his crystals, Gabu, but you said you came to ask for help. Why to us and not to your own people? What happened, Gabu? Can you tell us? No one is going to hurt you, alright? Not while we're here, I promise. The patriarch, the patriarch is going to summon the Great Father again, and you have to stop him. Beat him, fight him, stop him. Gabu's parents said they didn't want it, along with many others, but the patriarch wouldn't listen. He was so angry, raging, fuming, angry. He said if they didn't have the iron in their hearts, they would serve as cook for the furnace. And then the guards took my parents and the others away, and I haven't seen any of them since. Coke for the furnace. I did not want to believe it, but I have heard tales of the fosse fashioned from the bones of beastmen, which worshippers used in their rituals, hoping to summon more powerful incarnations of their gods. But the 12, that is sickening. No one listens to Gabu, no matter how much he cries, pleads, begs, cries. They do not listen, only talk about punishing the overdwellers and praising the Great Father. Gabu loves the Great Father, but he loves his parents too, so please help Gabu stop the patriarch and save his parents. Commander, advise Maelstrom Command that Titan summoning is imminent. Should the worst come to the worst, we will require their support. Time being of the essence, we three will attempt to infiltrate the Kobold stronghold, secure their crystals, and free the prisoners. Well, if you're sure, you'll forgive me if I don't seem optimistic. We'll make ready just in case. Do you know that there are collectors who will pay a fortune for Beastmen ritual artifacts? It's perverse. I tried talking to the others, but they won't listen. So even though I was afraid, I came here. I have faith that we may yet stop the ritual. We would surely have detected the associated aeric disturbance had Titan manifested already. But I cannot speak for the prisoners. 12 have mercy. That one would even contemplate sacrificing their own flesh and blood, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. Time is of the essence. We must see what else Gabu knows and formulate a plan without further delay. Let us pray that we still have time to save Gabu's parents. Shifting nervously from foot to foot, Gabu struggles to meet your gaze. I heard Great Father Titan loves crystals, cherishes, covets, loves them, and if we gather enough, he will return. That's why the Patriarch told everyone to go forth and gather them. So I was thinking, if we take all the crystals away, maybe the Great Father won't come? Very good, Gabu. I was just thinking the same thing. Do you know where these crystals are stored? I know. Oh, several spots, each fended by a different order. Gabu wanted to steal them, but he was afraid to go alone. Yes, too afraid to go alone. But together we can take them and hide them. Come. Gabu will lead you to the first catch.
I love Gabu.
Gabu is very good. Oh shit. These are on my
On your kill list?
my kill list. Get out of here.
Oh my.
That hardly seemed fair. Then again, they only have themselves to blame. Proceed to the crystals. LSA and I will stand guard for any errant patrols. Quickly! Do you have them all? Good. Lead on, Gabu. This way. Oh, hell yeah. What are you waiting for? We stand lookout. You take the crystals. If they find us, you'll protect me, won't you? If I didn't know any better, I would say this crate was... Time is short. If you have the crystals, we should move on to the next catch. Did you hear me, brother? Brother! Aye, it's just that... I'm quite certain that that crate once bore Ishgardian seals. Someone took great pains to remove all traces, but enough remains to make out the pattern. See for yourself. I struggle to imagine kobolds traveling to Korthus to obtain crystals, much less bothering to conceal their origins. I suspect these crystals were smuggled into Vibrand by another party, most likely a pawn of the Ascians, as Thancred speculated. I don't understand. Who are the Ascians? Do they worship Great Father Titan too? Never you mind about that. As Alizé said, we do not have a lot of time. Can you lead us to the next catch, Gabu? Yes, of course. Gabu knows the way. Next one is the last and is very large. Very big, very huge, very large. Oh, I didn't talk to everybody. Gabu said the catch would be here, but unless it is remarkably well hidden... But they said it was here. Heaps and heaps and heaps of crystals. We should pick up the crystals and leave now. The kobolds could stumble upon our handiwork at any moment. Though you cast about for a time, you see no sign of the crystals. Confounded. What about you, Akali? Any luck? Nothing, but this cannot be! Gabu saw them! Spotted, saw. Think, brother, think! They must have moved them, yes? The question is where to and why. Within Ogomoro, where they summoned Titan once before and mean to do so again, is the only explanation. What about Mother and Father and the others? We have to help them! And we will, Gabu, we will. Stay calm. We still have time. They have yet to call for the remaining crates, yes? If they had, then they would have found the other caches empty and sounded the alarm. Nevertheless, I believe the time for stealth has passed. We must breach the navel and seize the remaining crystals. There is no other way to prevent Titan summoning. But first, give me your crystals, that I might deliver them unto Commander Bloedin's custody. We dare not take them into the bowels of the mountain. Elvino is right. 'Twould be a folly to deliver the kobolds to the very thing we sought to deny them. Mother, Father, we're coming. Your crystals, Akali, if you would be so kind. 2 of them. Thank you. I shall deliver them to Camp Overlook for safekeeping and brief Commander Bloedin of the situation. Pray go on ahead. As I recall, there is an aetheryte within Ungomaro mines that should deliver you into the navel. Gabu doubtless knows the way. Wait for me there, and I shall rejoin you anon. Strange. I would have thought you eager to remain in the thick of the action. But if this is what you prefer, then Godspeed, brother. This way, this way! 2 whole crystals. I know. It seems like you can go that way, but alas, you cannot. I hope the Patriarch and my parents are there. I take this as the aetheryte we seek? Right then. As soon as Elfino arrives, we go. I trust you're feeling suitably heroic, Akali? There's no telling what sort of resistance we'll face in there. Quickly, you clods, briskly, swiftly, quickly. I will not suffer any further delays. Lay down your arms and surrender. We have the crystals. There will be no summoning this day. Overdwellers here? But how did you? Where are my parents, Patriarch? Where are they? Mother? Father? Go for the furnace. You monster, how could you? We are but servants of the Lord of Crags. We are his, and he may drink of our blood and partake of our flesh, that he might draw upon the strength of his children and defend them from the tyranny of the Overdwellers. No, Alizé, not yet. I understand, Patriarch, I do. Your fear, your anger, your hate. You would do anything to protect your people, anything to deliver them from despair, whatever it takes to ensure that those who threaten you can never do so again. But in your single-minded pursuit of this objective, you have brought suffering on your own kith and kin. You have sacrificed lives of the very people you sought to protect. But it need not be this way, Patriarch. Renounce your bloody course. Cease your attempts to summon your god and work with us, together, to build a lasting peace. Another peace to be abandoned at the Overdwellers' convenience. Oathbreakers, all of you, liars, betrayers, oathbreakers. You take, and you take, and you take, and when you've had your fill, you sue for peace. You promise that this time is the last until you grow hungry again. And when we dare to defend ourselves and declare that this beast tribe cannot be suffered to live, that our God drains the land of Aether and brings naught but suffering, death, destruction, suffering upon us all. I will hear no more lies from you and yours, Overdweller. You've ruined your own lands. You will not ruin ours. I said I'd come for you, and I did. I'm here. I am here. I'm here. Say something, please. 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 Wake up! 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 Seven hells. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Elfino, leave him to me. We must away. He's breathing, and I don't see any injuries, but I can't seem to wake him. By the 12th? How could I be so foolish? I should have known better than to let Gabu accompany us, given what we were like to find. His anguish and despair have served to birth a primal, just as surely as would the supplications of the faithful. Worse, being born of such tumultuous emotion, this incarnation of Titan seems incapable of naught but violence. If we have one cause for optimism, it is that while many crystals were present, they represented but a fraction of the quantity intended for the summoning ritual, meaning that Titan must be far weaker than planned. Be that it as it may, he is yet a primal, and the longer we leave him to bleed the land of Aether, the stronger he will grow. And should Titan be permitted to leave Ungomoro, more lives will be lost. The Maelstrom will rally their troops, and the cycle will continue. Akali, you know what must be done. Will you face the Lord of Crags once more? Thank you, my friend. Elisei and I will tend to Gabu. When you have finished with the primal, look for us in Camp Overlook. We will be expecting you. Alright, are you ready?
Ready.
So we have done Titan Hard before. So we just do it again. The durability of my gear is noticeably low. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. So I won't. Well, we'll have to go to Camp Overlook anyway. I want to see if I can get there before the duty thing. Whoa.
You weren't even out the door.
I didn't even finish my sentence. Shit. You readied up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're missing a tank, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't you. Woohoo! I still have a chance. You keep making goose sounds at me. Alright, so that tank is gonna... The Dark Knight is gonna main tank, so you don't have to worry.
Okay.
But, just remember to dodge AoEs because you cannot be rezzed if you fall off the edge. Easy. To the sides. Stay out of circles. To the sides. Stay in the middle. And we wait for the first bomb to explode. To the north. Titan Heart. Caged. been imprisoned. It's not middle this time, or it's not size this time. There is lots to be jealous of in regards to some of the white mage's spells. Wait till you see me get stronger, where I'm full of OGCT heals and I'll never actually have to cast a healing spell again. It's fucking choice. We want to be at the north, and when the middle pops, we go to it. To the middle. You're caged again!
No, I wasn't caged the first time.
Oh, it wasn't you? I thought for sure.
No. They were right next to me though, so
I it's like, damn. Titan hate you. Hey, an axe just for you.
An axe just for me.
It's an axe just for you.
Who took all that broccoli? Now, you get my player combinations. I won!
You won! I know you like your Shiva axe, but that is the Titan axe. There's no better. They don't do any glowing or anything. I don't think the Titan weapons, though. Oh, I might. Ah. You're back. Gods, what a relief. It's a beefy axe. Oh, there she is. Did I not tell you she would return safe and sound? The deed is done then? Titan is no more? Good. There has been enough tragedy this day. He has been like that since he regained consciousness. We believe he can hear us, but he has made no attempt to respond. He is most certainly still in shock, but we cannot discount the possibility that he succumbed to the Primal's influence. And should that prove to be the case, he must be put to death, like any thrall. Such is the Alliance's policy, yes? You have the right of it. But we must not rush to conclusions. After all, we had once feared that Ysael's followers were beyond reason, and many have since laid down their arms and accepted Ishgard's peace. We can all but watch, wait, and pray. I know what happened. God to help me, I was there, but the thought that we might have 7 hells, he's just a child. Elfina would rather not worry about what may or may not come to pass. There is naught to be gained from dwelling on an eventuality over which we have no control, much less one which may never even come to pass. Let us tend to more immediate matters, informing Commander Bulletin of Titan's demise, for example. You may be certain that he will be glad of the news. Would you be so kind as to break it to him? Ah, you're a sight for sore eyes. When the others came back without you, I feared the worst, but they said you had matters well in hand. All settled then? I'm glad to hear it, but not half as glad as my men will be, believe you me. Regardless of whether or not he was summoned properly, a primal's a primal, and there ain't a soul in the maelstrom that hasn't lost a friend to one. Don't get me wrong, we were all prepared to do our part, but we weren't so naive as to think we'd live to tell the tale. Thankfully, of course, it didn't come to that, which, my friend, sounds to me like cause for celebration. Now, I know you have a lot of places to be, but why not stay the night? We'd be honored to raise a glass to the triumphant return of Titan's Bane.
Who goes there? Oh, it's you. Forgive me for straying from the camp. He hasn't been feeling too welcome, to say the least. I thought a change of scenery might do him good. But, alas. It's so quiet out here. The stars spread out before us, beckoning across time and space. Dawn may banish even the darkest night. How bitterly beautiful, those words. I should be stronger for all my experiences, yet my heart aches more than ever. I never understood why Grandfather gave his life that day. I thought that if I came here, I would find the answers I needed. But when I finally laid eyes on the land he sacrificed everything to save, saw firsthand the bickering, the pettiness, I was disappointed. I was angry. I could not fathom how these people were more deserving of his love than his family, than me. But when Grandfather revealed the whole truth of the calamity to us, I finally understood. And I resolved there and then to continue his legacy in my own way. My travels have been enlightening, but I cannot say that I have enjoyed them. I have lost count of the many petty crises that I was helpless to resolve, and of the people whose actions I could not understand. There were others, of course. Good people. People with whom I felt a kinship, whose lives I could not save. I found myself asking what it was all for. Why try if I was doomed to fail in the end? But then I recalled Grandfather's words to my father, years ago, before he left Charlayan behind forever. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. We must all protect that which we hold most dear in the manner of our own choosing. We have to try, do we not? Of course, it's one thing to try and another to do. There were times while I was tracking the Warriors of Darkness when I faltered, when I was afraid. But then I thought of my brother, of Urianger, of you. Oh, pray forgive me. This conversation has been rather one-sided, hasn't it? Mayhap you could recount some of your adventures in Ishgard.
Under some rather unique circumstances, I had the pleasure to fight along Sir Emmerich.
He is quite a man, the Lord Commander. I shall have to thank him for his kindness. Truth be told, I was rather taken aback by it all. Given Ishgard's famous love of foreigners, I was half expecting the Kyrugians to berate me for bleeding. But I never heard an unkind word. Everyone there seemed relatively open and friendly, in fact, thanks in no small part to your tireless efforts, I suspect. The hopes and dreams of so many rest on your shoulders, warrior of light. As long as the sun rises, we can but carry on, for the sake of those we hold dear.
To what end dost thou cling to the tainted gifts of the Mother?
I wonder who this motherfucker could be.
Every tool has its purpose. Even this. Well, what is it?
The seeds sown in Vilbrand have been plucked from the earth and left to wither. Alas, Titan's demise sufficed not to drive the kobolds to deepest desperation.
What did the man in white have to say?
That we are to proceed as he did first set forth.
Well, that's easy for him to say! It's not his bloody world on the brink of destruction, is it?
Well,
Be thou well reminded that with an end to Ishgard's unrest, naught now remaineth to preoccupy the Scion's thoughts, and thus may they devote their every energy to thwarting thee and thine. I foresee only greater difficulties ahead.
Foresee? Are you sure you don't welcome them? I'm starting to think you might hold a candle for your old friends after all.
Pray do not mistake mine intent. I but look upon the path which lieth before us with due trepidation. Shouldst thou be of like mind, pray consider then another course. For the power to invoke the ardor belongeth not unto the Ascians alone. With thine own hand strike down thine enemy, the so-called hero who would see thy home lost to light. Do but this, and thou wouldst at a single stroke disrupt the all-too delicate balance of this realm, plunging her straightways into chaos.
You do realize what you're suggesting, yes?
To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. The words of my teacher, and a creed I hold close to my heart.
Very well. Draw her out. We'll make it quick.
It shall be done. What good a creed one cannot uphold? What hurts soothed? What lives saved? Oh, hapless fool, what hast thou wrought by thine own hands? Minfilia, my friends, I shall not now beg your forgiveness. Full deeply though it paineth me to walk it, I shall not stray from my chosen path. As Moonbreeder remains steadfast, so too shall I.
well, you were right, Miss Q.
I did it.
You did it. You figured it out. Though his motivations are unclear. He bad guy. But that doesn't mean he bad guy.
Yeah.
He has a plan. Have faith in Ariadne. Or don't. I don't fucking care. It's your life. What ho, Akali? I trust you had a good night's rest? I was but this morning speaking with Thancred and Y'shtola via link barrel. They had some interesting news to share. Apparently, during the course of their respective investigations, both came across crates which had once borne Ishgardian seals. 'Twould seem that someone in the capital has been very busy indeed. Accordingly, the Temple Knights have launched a full-scale investigation. Sir Emmerich believes that it is only a matter of time before the culprits are found, but we shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, it seems only prudent to look for the recent activities of the other tribes, in case they are too flush with Ishgardian crystals, and with that in mind, I suggest we pay Urianger another... Wait, where's Alice? She was here a moment ago with Gabu. Let me guess. It's time to leave, isn't it? My apologies for disappearing again. If it is any consolation, I have already packed my things. How is he? Brother, Commander Bolden, something tells me you are not here solely out of concern for his welfare. But to answer your question, there has been no change. He will not speak or eat. I'm not even sure if he slept. If he did, he seems none the better for it. He just shuffles about with the same expression on his face. You will look after him, won't you, Commander? And treat him with every kindness? He's still in there, I know it. Beneath the anguish and the despair, he's still fighting with all his heart. He deserves to be given that chance, until he comes back to us, until we know for certain what has become of him. Aye, you needn't worry. If he hadn't risked his neck to warn us and help you secure the better part of the crystals, this could have turned out a damn sight worse than it did. We'll not soon forget that, and nor will Maelstrom Command. I'm so sorry, Gabu, I truly am. You should have never been made to, and I know I can't possibly understand. Mayhap there is nothing I can say or do. The pain, the anger, the helplessness. Hold fast to the memories of better times. Remember them as they were. And when it hurts so much that your heart feels fit to burst, let it burst. Let it burst and fill up again with the love for them, and never, ever forget. Come along, little one. I will remember them. And you, Alize. Thank you. Have faith, sister. Your words have reached him. In time, he will recover. And those who orchestrated these events will be made to answer for their crimes. A 1,000 times over, aye. There will be a reckoning. Pray return to the walking saint.
That's so sad.
Yeah. Poor little Gabu.
I cried a little bit.
Oh. My eyes got a little wet too. Is that the first time the game has made you a big sad?
Yeah.
No, poor little Gabu.
Poor little Gabu. So since Alize said that she can't quite understand his pain, that means that her parents are alive somewhere?
Yeah. Her father
Huh.
and mother are both alive.
Huh.
You get to meet their dad. Way later.
Way later.
Way later. But you do get to meet him. We have heard the glad tidings from Gormoro, my friends. By the grace of the 12 and your most valiant effort, the people of Limsa Lominsa may rest easy. I should like to think so, yes. Though we failed to prevent the Lord of Crags from manifesting, we did succeed in weakening him, enabling our friend to dispatch him before the Warriors of Light could make matters worse. 'Twas by no means an unmitigated success, but it will have to suffice. Then let us speak of another matter, one which weigheth heavy on my lady's mind. As thou did request, I sought out the Gurren oracles, that we might better understand the aims of the Warriors of Darkness. Though their copious use of allegory defieth any single interpretation, the oracles paint a most disturbing picture, one of worlds parallel to our own, apart yet linked, reduced to ruin with every umbral calamity. 7 times have they succeeded. Then of 10 and 3, only 6 worlds remain. Aye, all is as my lady Menphilia spoke unto thee. As for what becometh of these reflections when they and the source are rejoined, frail flesh undone in umbral fires, each soul surrendereth to her call, to flow unto the endless sea, there to endure as one and none. Then if the warriors of darkness succeed, everyone in their world will die. In essence, the verse speaketh of the reunification of the flesh and subsequent return to the life stream. However, this may yet be preferable to the alternative, for if the first were to fall to transcendent light in the manner the warriors of darkness described, it would give way unto a void wherein none may know either life or death. Far better to die than they reason, for in death there is life. The essence of a soul, which returneth unto the source, may be born anew, saved, such at least is their belief, I surmise. If that is true, then, gods, no one should ever have to make such a choice. Ere we speak further on this subject, I would share with thee another recent discovery. 'Twould seem that several sizable shipments of crystals have been delivered into the hands of certain Alamegan parties. Alamegans? Strange. And you would believe this to be the work of the same Ishgardian smugglers who supplied the beast tribes. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. And lest thou wonder at their motive, I would remind you that the Ascians did once attempt to bring about the summoning of Ralgar. The individuals who took receipt of these shipments are refugees belonging to a group devoted to the cause of Alamegan liberation, and may also interest thee to know that their Ishgardian suppliers appear to be none other than the remnants of Aline Royale's network of spies. Surely you jest, and yet it is not so surprising. Bereft of leadership and haunted by the Alliance, I can well imagine such villains being desperate enough to conspire with the Ascians, assuming they even know or care who their new employers are. All of which is irrelevant. Forgive me. We must seek out the resistance group, which has received the crystals without delay. Akali, Alice, will you come with me to Little Alamigo? Yes, of course. I should like to hear what they have to say for themselves firsthand. May you walk ever in the light of the crystal. Alice is giving this man the stink eye. Elvina, Alice, Akali, are you 3 listening? Good, I have tidings. The Temple Knights raided the smuggler's warehouse less than an hour ago. A cursory interrogation of the prisoners yields confirmation that they were in the employ, and I hope you are sitting down, a man in black robes. Then you have them, and the crystals too. What few remained, Regrettably, it would seem they dispatched one final shipment in the hours before we struck. 'Twas bound for Little Alamigo, we are told, where it will be received by members of a local resistance group. Since Sir Emmerich's men no longer have need of my services, I have mind to head that way. As do we. By happy coincidence, we have learned of shipments but a few moments ago. Ha! And here I was thinking I might finally be one step ahead of the Warrior of Light and her little helpers. Wait a moment, there is more, and I defy you not to be surprised by this revelation. The leader of the Ishgardian smugglers was formerly in the employ of Aline Royale, the famous Ivy herself. Once again, Thancred, I fear I must inform you that... Thancred, with whom else have you shared this information? About the smugglers? No one. As I think I mentioned, the raid was less than an hour ago. I was planning to contact Y'shtola next, but there is someone else, is there someone else you would have me notify first? No, there isn't. There was no way for Urianger to have that information. But information he had. What in the world has gotten into her? It is twice now that we have sought Urianger's aid, and twice she has treated him as if he were a stranger. The Archon was one of Grandfather's most dedicated pupils, and spent as much time at the Levier estate as we did. He's practically a member of the family. Truth be told, I struggle to recall a day from my childhood when I did not see the three of them laughing together. If this continues, I may have to raise the matter. Later, though. Little Alamigo awaits.
Why would Urianger be so careless? Like, why would he give information that he knows he shouldn't have yet?
I suspect
why isn't he being more careful?
I suspect he's trying to purposely. Because as he was talking to Ardbert, he's gathering us all up so that Ardbert can fight us, and the plan is to kill us. So I think if we follow his trail, he will have led us to the Warriors of Darkness, into a quote-unquote trap. It's been a long time since I've done these quests, but I can only assume that that is his current motive.
I see.
Still no sign of Thancred. So what I'm suggesting is just a guess, because I know about as much as you, because I can't remember. I will get to the bottom of this. Oh, forgive me. It has been a long day. Did you have something to say? Urianger. Oh, I've always struggled to understand what's going on in his head. Now more than ever. Listen, Akali, if something should happen, it should be me who... Just know that I'm prepared to do what must be done. Right then. To more pressing matters. She's talking about fucking killing Urianger. She's like, I'll do it. I'll put him down. Since we have no idea when Thancred might arrive, I suggest we see what information we can gather in his absence. Elphino is eager to get to work. So to review, we are reliably informed that the member of the Alamagan resistance operating here have taken receipt of several large shipments of crystals, our task being to ascertain who and why. Given the size of the settlement, I find it hard to believe that anyone here could be wholly unaware of the resistance movements. The challenge, of course, will be finding individuals who are able and willing to share information with outsiders. It would seem sensible to divide our forces. Akali, why don't you question the residents of the eastern half of town, as I will do the same to the west, and afterwards we can rendezvous here to share our findings. I remember some of the beats to these patches, and I remember what happens in... I think we have a lot of patch to go, if my memory is serving me well. The resistance? Damned if I know. It's not as if it'd be any use to them. If you're set store by all these tales of secret weapons, good luck to you. But I'm too old for the masked bedtime stories. This is our lot, and it's time we got used to it. Let me guess, kinda joined the fight, have you? No need to deny it, friend. You're not the first to answer the Griffin's call. Oh, he's lit a fire in every Alamegan heart. He's also inspired more than a few old aunts to pledge themselves to the cause. And little wonder, the Garleans won't stop until we're all under the yoke. I bet you're there. I bet I see you there, going around asking questions, looking for the Griffin and his lot, I'll bet. Seems they're the talk of Alamigo these days. Folk wondering what he's about and what he's got in store for the Garleans. And what's under that mask of his, of course. Some say he's hardly got a face, what with all the scars. Others reckon he's been marked for death by the Empire, and they've seen a bloody legion if they knew he was here. Your guess is as good as mine. Well, that was easier than expected. There's not a soul here who isn't eager to talk about our masked friends. I suppose I should ask you what you learned, but I think I already know. The Griffin seems to be the leader of a newly formed faction within the Resistance, the Masks. Yet despite their growing popularity, no one seems to know much about them, only that they are the most aggressively militant group to join the movement in recent memory. Indeed, many claim their commitment to the cause of Alamegan liberation is unrivaled. We can but hope their revolutionary fervor is not channeled in the direction of a primal. Though I feel confident that this group, which received the crystal shipments we yet lack proof, before taking any action, I would speak with the settlement's leader to confirm my suspicions, and mayhap enlist his help while I'm about it. Given that you and Gunnabold are already acquainted, mayhap it would be best if you took the lead. Shall we? Much as it pleases me to see you again, Akali, I cannot help but wonder if I should be worried. I hear you and yours have been asking questions. The Griffin, I know of him, as do we all. He and his masks have become a leading faction within the Resistance. Though there was suspicion at first of his secretive ways, he quickly proved himself a charismatic and capable commander. Men are drawn to his passion and his vision. They truly believe that he has what it takes to lead them to victory. But I cannot help but admire the man for what he's accomplished. But I have not forgotten Wilred. I was blind to the danger of his ambitions, and you were not. The Griffin will soon deliver a speech to our people at the sunken temple of Karn. Go and see him with your own eyes. Weigh his words with your own heart. How convenient. 'Tis but a pity Thancred is not here to join us. You two go on ahead. I will stay behind and wait for him. Whatever could be keeping him? If he's taken the scenic route, leaving us to do all the hard work, I will treat him with a piece of my mind. That's something of Karn. Has it begun already? I hear voices coming from within.
Brothers and sisters, 20 years ago, Alamigo, our home, was claimed by the Garlean Empire. In our haste to overthrow the King of Ruin, we turned a blind eye to our foes in the north. With our glorious revolution, we but laid a path for a new tyrant to succeed the old. And when confronted with our failure, we fled. Not a day goes by that I do not think of those we left behind. Think of them and feel ashamed. And I know each and every one of you feels the same. We abandoned them, our own flesh and blood, to labor till their backs gave in and their breath gave out, building the twisted steel ramparts which now mar our once majestic mountains. We abandoned them, the brave and true, to fight and die for their country, or worse, to be conscripted and sent off to rob another poor bastard of his home. We abandoned them, the meek and powerless, to bow and scrape when the Garleans pass, to sully themselves that they might live to see another day of misery. The Black Wolf may be dead, but a new Imperial Viceroy reigns in Alamigo now. A beast, not a fraction as merciful. You all know the Eorzean Alliance will do naught to oppose him. For all their promises and platitudes, they will not act if there's no profit in it. Only we can free our brothers and sisters from the Empire's tyranny, my friends. Only we have the courage to stand and fight. They have imprisoned us. They have enslaved us, and they have murdered us, but no more! Blood demands blood, and the Garleans shall pay for every drop they have spilt upon our lands. This I promise you. For we have a power within us, my friends. A power befitting our pride, our righteousness. Only join us, and we shall grant you the means to unleash it. And together, we shall see the Alamigan standard raised over the mountains of Gia Arbania once more.
A power befitting their pride. Not at all ominous, that. Wait, is that...
What are you two doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
Well, well, this is quite the surprise.
If you see what I see, if you feel as I feel...
Might I suggest we continue this conversation in more agreeable surroundings?
So the yesterday you asked me who was talking. Who was doing the narration for the new patch. It's Papolino.
Ah.
He has a very different voice now.
I like how our hellos were just like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. What's up?
Yeah, thought you
Like,
were dead.
It's been months.
Yeah. Actually, every expansion save for, I think, Stormblood, because it doesn't make Stormblood for to only be a year, it takes place in, like, a year. It has to. So, yeah, it's been about a year since we last saw these two.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, have we stopped searching for them? But I'm glad I didn't have to ask.
Of all the places to meet, it has to be fate. Mayhap it is my imagination, but you seem rather more rugged and world-weary than last we spoke. I have lost so much, Papolino. I also prefer Merweb's ARR voice a lot. There are some that I was sad to lose. I like both of Arianje's. I think Alphino and Alice are an improvement. Especially because Alphino has stopped being the bratty kid from ARR. Like, my father has tons of money. Little Draco Malfoy of the world. But Merweb's and Kane-sana's voices were better in ARR by, like, a wide margin. Everyone else, I think, is an improvement. Words cannot express how glad I am to see you both alive and well. And you, though it is pretty obvious you and a colleague would be fine. I know, she's lost all her piratiness. The Crystal Braves never had a realistic chance of capturing any of the Scions, divided as they were and distrusted by the better part of Eorzea. But if you truly believe that, forgive me, what exactly have you been doing all this time? Why didn't you contact us? Repaying a favor. After the banquet, we had no choice but to flee Ul'dah, and we would not have been able to do so without the aid of some old friends from the Resistance. That's right. They smuggled us out of the city and sheltered us in Little Alamigo, all at great risk to themselves. Obviously, we couldn't let that go unacknowledged, so we offered to help them out with their operations for a while. When we learned the Scions of the Scions' exoneration, that Lolorito had severed all ties with the Crystal Braves, and that General Ruban had been reinstated, we resolved to make contact. But having long since disregarded our link pearls as a precautionary measure, where our options were rather limited. To make matters more complicated, we were embroiled in a delicate operation at the time, leaving me with little choice but to entrust a letter to a courier. I gather from your puzzled expressions, however, that you never received it. To be honest, we thought this might happen. While the masks are happy to let the refugees spread the word of within the community, they're pretty strict about communicating with the outsiders. And when we also heard a rumor that the Griffin doesn't want us meddling in his affairs. The Griffin mistrusts the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? Curious. It's well known that we are no friends to Garlemald. One would think the man we saw beseeching all and sundry to join his cause would welcome our support. I should say that the man you saw is not in fact the Griffin, but an impersonator, and a talented rabble-rouser to boot. It would not surprise me if he were responsible for the majority of these public appearances. As you may have gathered, the Griffin is an extremely cautious and distrusting man who has made every effort to conceal his identity. Even when we participated in a raid under his direct commands, we were not permitted to approach him. It's hard to know what to make of it all. The secrecy, the impersonators, the masks. What? It's not as if I'm making you all wear one, and mine's only half covered. It's completely different. Anyway, when we heard the Griffin was due to give a speech, we thought it might be a good opportunity to get a better sense of the man behind the, to get a better sense of the man. For all the good it did. And now you have heard the whole of it, but tell me, what prompted you to take an interest in the Griffin? Summoning? You're not serious, I can't believe it. The Resistance would never entertain such a ridiculous plan, but the Griffin? Well, the man is an enigma. I cannot say with any confidence that he would or would not do. What I can say, however, is that the speech we heard today was not the first to make reference to a power capable of defeating the Empire. The masks have made many such claims of late. I confess I had assumed it to be mere bluster, but in the context of shipments of which you spoke, is it not impossible that they are alluding to a primal? Whatever it is, we'll find out together, and if anyone tries to stop us, they'll answer to me. Indeed, that is assuming you'll have us. You didn't get kicked. You guys didn't get kicked out of the Scions. You just never showed back up to work. Do you honestly think he's planning to liberate Alamigo with the help of a primal? I mean, could he really be that stupid? Papalymo has a mind to learn the Griffin's true intentions. If, as you suspect, the Griffin is indeed plotting to summon a primal, we must needs obtain confirmation that there is yet time to act. To that end, I propose we question his double. Given his role as the group's de facto mouthpiece, I should not be surprised if he were the one of the Griffin's closest associates, and while he may not be aware of the most sensitive details, he can probably tell us the mask's plans in broad strokes. Like the man whom he impersonates, however, he is wary of outsiders. He will not expose himself without a suitable incentive. My plan is as follows. You and Alphino pose as adventurers fallen on hard times, inspired by his words to take up arms for a noble cause. Ida and I, as members of the Resistance, will recount tales of your past achievements and testify as to your usefulness in the struggles ahead. With our enthusiastic assurances still ringing in his ears, he will decide to welcome you in person, and we will arrange a meeting. You will need to look the part as we maintain the charade, until we have him cornered at least. Here, this should be enough to purchase suitable garments from Tailbot, and to have him rub a respectable amount of dirt on them for good measure. Any questions? It all seems simple enough, thank you, and one of a Kali. And without a Kali, let us be off. I don't want to look like a dirty hole. I don't want to.
Play it.
I don't want to. I'm tired of wearing dirty clothes.
Wait. I want to ride. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay. I love this mount.
Allie gave it to me because my free trial had run out. So she paid for a month and then gave me this mount. I was like, keep playing this game. I was like, okay. I guess. And here I am 8,000 hours later. Nice. Yeah. I'm a little turned around. I hate this place. I hate this place especially in the dark because I can't see any of the entrances. Get out of the balloon. Well, don't look at me. You're the one with the sack of gil. You do have the sack of gil, don't you? Hey, you want to buy what? I don't know what you're up to, but I want no part of it.
Here, have some money.
Well, you're the ones with the gil, and seen as your friends of Papalimo. There, tunic and slops for the both of you, tailed and treated to your taste. I'm off with you before someone sees us together. He was right to be doubtful. Oh, these again? I've... Clothes maketh the man, as they say. Right then, I will go change and see you at the spot Papalimo marked on our maps.
God, I hope this is the right one.
If you can talk to Alphino, it's the right one.
Oh, I was able to talk to Alphino without putting...
Oh,
clothes
interesting.
on.
And I can't simply fly over Alamigo. It makes
No,
one
no.
have to ask what's the point of flying? Well, look at us, a pair of down-at-heel adventurers seeking a chance to capture, past glories. Yes, this should suffice. And now we play the waiting game.
My thanks, comrades. You must be the esteemed adventurers of whom I've heard so much. I understand you have taken an interest in our cause.
A great interest, you might say. Your words have certainly made quite an impression on my friend and I. The Resistance has long, and some would say wisely, avoided open engagements with the Garleans, but you and yours seem confident against the world in arms. I can only assume you have good reason to be so bold. Why, one might even think you are planning to summon a primal. Because that would do much to explain the sizable shipment of crystals you recently received from your smuggler friends, whom our Ishgardian allies have since detained, lest you wonder.
I'd like to hear more about the Griffin. The real Griffin. Your performance earlier didn't fool us.
Ah, the famous scions of the Seventh Dawn. I should have known better than to think I could conceal the truth from you lot. You are right. I am not the Griffin, but I speak with his voice, and it was at his behest that we procured those crystals. You are wrong, however, if you think that we procured them to summon a primal. We used them to reach an accord with the Amalja. In exchange for crystals to summon their god, they will aid us in the fight for Alamegan liberation.
That isn't...
That's the dumbest thing
That
I've
is
ever
in
heard.
fact using the crystals to summon a primal. That is in fact what you are using them for. No, they're not wrong. They're not wrong in that they are bringing the fight to Garlemald, because you're right. The Alliance is not going to do anything. They are not going to help free Alamigo without there being something in it for them. That's just the way these things work. It is the fact that they are using the crystals to summon a primal, which is the problem. Because that is part of the Ascians design and the Warriors of Darkness design.
You've got to be joking. Have you gone completely mad? When people find out you helped the Lizardmen summon Ifrit, they'll turn on the Resistance. Alamigo will never be free.
This isn't a fairy tale, girl. We don't have the luxury to play at being honorable heroes. It's because the likes of you wouldn't sully your saintly hands that Alamigo's been under the yoke for the past 20 years. But the Griffin won't stand for it, and neither will we. We're ready to do whatever it takes.
What proof do you have of this arrangement with the Amalja?
What? Aside from a lack of crystals? None. But the beastmen have a great big pile of the things if you fancy looking. You might want to hurry, though. It'll not be long before they summon their god. Search our camp if you don't believe me. We have naught to hide.
If there is a cache to be found, Ida and I will find it.
Then let us be off. Are you perchance the Warrior of Light?
Was it my bunny ears that gave me away?
Excuse me?
Aye, I thought so. You should know that a great many who have joined us did so because you saved them. Because you showed them that one brave woman can make a difference. You saved me too once. Helped a friend over in Quarry Mill make some medicine I needed. But that was a lifetime ago.
Oh. I don't know if you remember that quest line.
I do. It was a whole lot of back and forth.
On behalf of my brothers and sisters, I thank you. You gave us hope where there was none, courage and strength when all was lost. We shall not squander your gift.
I know that look, Ida, and I do not like it. You cannot seriously be contemplating taking up arms with that band of cutthroats.
I just...
If the Griffin and his men have their way, it is only a matter of time before the situation in Alamigo comes to a head. Your homeland's future teeters on a knife edge, and any reckless action, however small, could have irrevocable consequences. You mustn't lose sight of that, Ida. When the time comes, we must all make our choices, but we must do so in full possession of the facts. Now, let us away. There is work to be done.
There is also this group. This group is not very large, going against an empire that is very, very large. And if they attack, and if they summon a primal, and if they use that primal on the Garlean forces, the entire weight of that empire will crush this resistance. It will crush it, and it will give the Garleans another reason to invade Eorzea, because this wasn't something that was stopped under the eyes of the Alliance. It will have, and then it's true, Alamigo will never be free if this is not handled with more delicate hands. The Garlean Empire is huge, and it is strong. Yep, absolutely. You could effectively be giving them just like a power-up to what they have. I'm taking off these clothes. I've had enough. I look dirty. Coromil, he said. Do you remember? Forgive me. You cannot be expected to recall every name and face, and besides, it's not as if it matters. I have long admired how you live in the present, how you focus on the problems at hand and always keep moving forward. So let's keep moving forward together, Akali. We must find and secure those crystals. There is no time for looking back. Oh, spaghetti for both of us, I think. No. Alphino would keep moving forward. If we take the Griffin's double at his word, then the crystals are now somewhat within Zarahak, ready to be put to use by the Almalja. We must surprise Alizé of all we have learned. I will join you in Little Alamigo after I have changed. Oh, Thancred. That's so much better. Subterfuge was never my strong suit. You are prepared for battle, then? Kept you waiting, eh? My apologies. Now that Thancred has finally arrived, mayhap you could share with us your latest findings. You mean to tell me that while we were worrying ourselves sick, Ida and Papalimo were here all along? Well, Y'shtola will be relieved, and also angry. Mainly angry, I should think. As for the crystals, what choice do we have? We cannot well leave them in the hands of the Almalja. For all we know, they could be preparing to summon Ifrit even as we speak. We must make for Zarahak without delay. Agreed. If there is naught else to discuss, let us depart at once. And so they go forth, in accordance with the Griffin's plan. The players gather to assume their marks on the stage raised in flame. Ere long the curtain shall rise, and the drama of which I am author, gods forgive me, shall be at last performed. Naught else remaineth, save to stand at the ready and pray that the chance ceased, for never shall we know its like again. All seems calm here. It is possible that we've been deceived? You'd think there'd be more obvious signs that something was afoot, but if anything, the place seems quieter than I remember it. I have a bad feeling about this. I confess, I expected a warmer greeting, but we must not jump to conclusions, not until we have braved the Ball of Embers. We must be ready to engage the enemy at any moment. If you would make any final preparations, pray do so now. I shall await your signal. Upon proceeding to the Ball of Embers, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. It's good. We have an hour and 10 minutes left.
This isn't right. The Emulger would never leave this place so poorly guarded.
Not willingly, no.
The saviors of Eorzea. Slow as ever.
By the 12. Will you never learn?
You know, you're right. Mayhap it is time for a change of tack. Killing primals, tormenting beastmen, hastening the birth of a new god. It's all a bit much, isn't it? And frankly, we don't have the leisure to do it. But killing the Warrior of Light, on the other hand, that would soon plunge Eorzea into chaos. One life for one world. A fair exchange. Wouldn't you agree?
Lest you forget, you've more than one opponent.
Carbuncle! Defend me!
I sense you will offer more than mere target practice. Unlike your sister.
Alize!
Did I not tell you, Alphino? I am not the girl I once was. My brother was always the clever one, while my talents lay elsewhere. As Eorzea's blade of light once stood by my side, now I shall stand at hers and defend this realm with all my might.
Let's finish this.
So Final Fantasy started doing, in this expansion, when they introduce new classes, NPCs will have that class. And introduce it a little bit earlier on. Not always necessarily. So as Stormblood came, the two new classes were Red Mage and the Samurai. So Alize became the Red Mage, and the character that becomes the Samurai we will meet later down the road. take our age first.
You shall fall soon enough.
Get away from me, dude.
No more games! It ends now. What?
The chains!
You snake! You would betray us as well?
He that holdeth fast unto his convictions shall never count betrayal amongst his crimes, though all the world may call him villain. My path is unchanged, my creed sacrosanct. This I believe with all my heart. But say, warrior of darkness, and speak true, what dost thou believe? That rendering up the souls of thy world in service to the rejoining will grant it salvation? Nay.
By the 12! Oriange!
Mine apologies, Master Alphino. That the brightest light might shine, duty did compel me to walk in darkest shade.
You sweet fool. I was almost willing to believe you had turned against us. I expect a full explanation when this is over. For now, may I assume you have turned your cloak for the last time?
Thou mayest, my lady. By thy leave.
Oh, I forgot this man loves to JoJo pose.
Even odds then. No matter. We'll crush the lot of you in one fell swoop! Understood.
Hearken to me. We only have one chance. Channel your ether into my blade that I might strike before the mage casts his spell. I cannot do it alone, but together we can defeat them! Make ready! They come!
I remember this being easy to screw up because I wasn't paying attention.
I must have more ether! That's not enough!
Oh, it won't let me give her more. There we go.
I can feel it! Just a little more!
Oh, it's only when her blade of light is out. That makes sense. There's too much happening on my screen.
Hurry it up, neighbor! I'll crush you!
Done! With this blade, I banish the darkness!
No. Not like this.
Alize, are you hurt?
A touch dizzy, but otherwise fine. Thank you.
And there you have it. Our friend is too stubborn to die.
We are far from finished. Or have you never considered how we came to this world?
Crystals? You mean, like the Ascians?
Just so. As the Ascians flee unto the rift twixt planes with crystals of darkness, so did these warriors come hither with crystals of light.
Eloquent, as always. Aye, like the Ascians, we too are beyond death. You cannot defeat that which is eternal. Wait!
Such methods as the Ascians employ require the renunciation of the flesh. You would have had to...
At long last, you see. To save our world, we gave our lives. We were just adventurers trying to make our way. An odd job here, a favor there. We never aspired to be warriors of light. But word of our deeds spread, and soon people were calling us heroes. They placed their hopes and dreams on our shoulders, and bid us fight for all that was good and right. We fought, and we fought, and we fought, until there was no one left to fight. We won! And now our world is being erased from existence. We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this. You of all people should understand. We cannot, we will not falter. We brought our world to the brink of destruction, and now we must save it.
I've died before, Arbet. I'm not afraid to die again.
No matter how many times we fall, we must rise and carry on the fight for those we left behind.
To have known the depths of sorrow and embraced the highest sacrifice. Nonetheless, Master Louis Sois, guide my hand, I pray you, as fate's thread spinneth upon this most capricious spindle. Quickly! Thou must needs invoke the power of thy crystal.
What is this place?
Such pain. Such sorrow. Oh, my dear children.
It can't be.
Mother Heidelin, hearken unto your children's plea. From two worlds do we gather, and from two worlds do we offer a bounty of light. In this desperate hour, we do beseech your intercession. We beg an audience with the word of the Mother, with your chosen Minfilia.
Your cries go not unheard, nor your sacrifices unnoticed. Though many are lost, there are those we can yet save, whom I can yet save.
Minfilia.
Blessed children of the First, the light of your world hath grown blinding in its radiance, but it is not yet absolute. I will hie me to your world, and there take unto myself the light which riseth even now to drown it, as darkness once did drown another.
Now you deign to answer our prayers? I will suffer this farce no longer!
As the Ascians must serve as instruments of Zodiark's will, so too must others carry out the will of Hydaelyn. But for the boon you have granted her, she has grown strong enough to set me free, that I might serve as her emissary. Your suffering, your sacrifice, your supplications, she has heard all. We will not let the first fall to light. Thank you, Urianger, for bringing everyone here. It fills my heart with joy to look upon the faces of my friends once more.
In taking you unto her bosom, I knew that Hydaelyn had bequeathed to you a sliver of her grace, granting you strength long sought. And in treating with the Ascians, I learnt of a star like unto our own, a doomed world of fallen heroes, in whom I glimpsed ourselves, the first. Full long did I search for a means to save this world, concluding at the last that the answer lay in the power of blessed crystals. And thus did I labor to set light against dark. Yet I knew from the beginning that this salvation would not come without sacrifice. For the instrument of the First's deliverance would of necessity be required to journey thither, there to remain, mayhap forever.
You orchestrated all of this, not to save her, but to send her away!
One life for one world. Such was the bargain, and you the coin, though it were not mine to spend.
Have we not walked together in the light of the crystal, and at her bidding borne witness to the joys and sorrows of this land? Each and every one of you knows my heart. If this be the price I must pay, I pay it gladly.
You would go alone, then?
My dearest Thancred, you who have ever watched over me, I am truly grateful for all you have done on my behalf, as would my father be. Your kindness, your compassion, your love. These are your gifts to me, and our gifts to them, forming a bond which transcends time and space.
Sometimes I forget you are not the child I once knew. Make me proud.
Long have I watched you from Hydalin's side, watched as you nurtured and kept safe the light of the dawn. The dark recesses of the world hide untold secrets and dangers. Thus do I entrust to you, Tupsimati. I pray you, keep to the path that you may never have need of it.
Twould seem the power of our crystals is all but spent. Perhaps, if there is naught else to be done.
Hear me, servant of Hydaelyn. If you would have us place our trust in you, then I would ask a favor. Take us with you. Take us home. We were blind to the truth once, so I tell you this, as one fool to another. Light, dark, it doesn't matter. What matters is how you choose to use them. We made our choice and you see what came of it, so please, forge a different path. Seize a better fate.
It is a strange feeling. So many times have I watched you depart, my heart filled with worry. And ever did you return to me in triumph. Someday, when I have found a way to free this star from her sorrow, I promise you I shall repay the favor. Thank you, Lemmy, for everything.
Though things did not unfold as perhaps... I mean to say, I truly believe that she... Forgive me. I should not have spoken. It is not my place. Speak thy mind. I do not expect thy forgiveness. So, in case I was a little unclear, because it might be a little unclear, Urianger pitted light against dark so that all the crystals of light, because while we hold the one, the rest are while we've had them all, only one is actually in our possession. The rest are with Hydaelyn. Oh, we've whipped out the purple one on occasion. It's complicated. So, with all the crystals fused with light, it was an offering to summon Hydaelyn, technically. And with that boon, we gave her strength to live without Menthilia in her grasp. However, in order to do that, we had to make a bargain with the Warriors of Darkness, and it was a necessary bargain because if the first falls to light, a calamity happens. With each star that goes out, a calamity will be wrought upon this world. So, in order to prevent that, and to stop the Warriors of Darkness machinations along with those of the Ascians, Menthilia is to be sent to the first to fight. Now, with Hydaelyn's blessing, she is capable of doing so, and she shall stop the first calamity. But, in her going to the first, she can never return to the source. There will be no retrieving her. And it is there that she is to remain. It would seem we are in southern Thanalan again. Menthilian's doing, no doubt. May the 12 speed her on her way, and the Warriors of Darkness too. I cannot help but wonder what awaits those wayward souls. If they gave their lives in order to travel to the source, then in returning to the first, would they not... Mayhap that was their wish. Elfino seems to be at a loss for words. Aw. Forgive me. My thoughts were elsewhere, and this one I know full well that there is work to be done. The crystals. Leave them to me. I will go back into Zerahak and secure them. The Amalja will be in disarray after the thrashing the Warriors of Darkness gave them. They are not like to take notice of a lone bard skulking about. But Thancred, you... don't have to do this, I know, but I want to. We'll see you at the Rising Stones. I should go find Ida and Papalimo. They must have finished searching the Mask's camp by now. Not that it matters anymore. You must be tired, Akali. I know I am. If thou wilt permit me, my lady, I would ask a question. When didst thou become aware of mine independent pursuits? When I saw you meeting with the warrior of Darkness and that Ascian in white at the Great Library, I tried not to think the worst. You've never been one to confide in others, so I knew that even were your intentions pure, you would not share your plans with us until you felt the time was right. But I cannot deny that a part of me feared that you had simply betrayed us. Would that there had been another way. Know that I took no pleasure in deceiving thee, and that these sins will forever weigh heavy on my heart. I understand why you did what you did, that you but sought to achieve the greatest good while inflicting the least harm. Not many would have the courage to make that choice. But even knowing what came of your actions, I find that I cannot condone them. I am sorry. Akali, forgive me, but I believe the events of the day have taken their toll on me, and I should like to rest a while. If thou wilt grant me leave, I would gladly escort thee into a refuge of thine own choosing. Once my lady hath regained her strength, we shall join thee at the Rising Stones. Until then, Warrior of Light. A little bit like a multiverse thing. They've talked about it a bit, and it will become a point eventually of more. Oh, we're gonna go over here. But I believe what has been shared is that Hydaelyn split the world into into 13 reflections. The source not included. So you have the source, which is the world that we are on, and then 13 reflections of it, which make 14 worlds, because this is Final Fantasy XIV. But this is what Hydaelyn did, for reasons that are, I believe, unclear. But the Ascians are trying to restore these reflections and create the world to be whole once more, while we are trying to prevent that because each world has its own people and its own thingamajig. And we have no right to stop the lives of those peoples, to restore a world that Hydaelyn purposely split apart. I have yet to tell them what happened in Zaharak. I thought it best to do so together. Ah, there you are. We finished our search, in case you were wondering. Well met, Akali. Elvino said you would be joining us. 'Twould seem the Griffin's double was telling the truth, insofar as we have found nothing resembling a sizable catch of crystals in the masked camp. Did you perchance find one in Zaharak? Actually... I don't believe it. The crystals, Minfilia, all of it. I don't know what it is. I sympathize, Ida. Even now I struggle to comprehend that which I saw. The only thing I can say with any certainty is that I feel blessed to have been granted a final chance to speak with her. 'Twas bittersweet, aye, but also affirming. Alphino, I believe it is past time Ida and I rejoin the Scions. We have been away for far too long. Though I am loath to leave the Griffin to his own devices, I feel our investigation would benefit from more dispassionate perspectives, and I hope that we might, in turn, offer our own opinions on the many challenges that you've faced in our absence. Gods, it's been absolutely ages, hasn't it? I can't wait to hear about everyone's adventures. We would be glad to recount them, and Tataru's tales may well surprise you. She went to prison for a bit. Ida? Ida, Ralgoby Place, it is you! Ida's alive and still standing here before me in the flesh. I can hardly believe my eyes. Oh, come now. Has it really been so long you don't remember me? It's Gonabald. I fought beside your father in the Revolution. Do not think less of her, friends. It's been 20 years since the occupation sent us all our separate ways, but the resistance were always welcome in Little Alamigo. They gave us hope, and young Ida most of all. Ida here was always full of fire. Ever the first to volunteer for a mission, until the day she up and vanished, that is. There were rumors, and we feared the worst, but here you are, alive and well, looking nary a day older. Well, what can I say? I'm sorry for running off like that and making you all worry. It's a long story, but you see, I got involved with my friends here, the Scions. We were still the Circle of Knowing back then, right? Anyway, I wanted to come back and tell you, but it was all very secretive stuff at the time, and as you can see, I'm completely fine. You know, I've got a lot to talk about, and we will... But right now, I've got to hurry back to our headquarters. My friends are expecting me. Pray forgive her. It's been a long day for us all. I promise we will visit again at the first opportunity. Let us return to the Rising Stones. Hells take me for giving you that mask. Gotta move on from that whole situation. Don't worry about it.
Why such dramatic music for something that seemed like a very nice...
Well...
Oh, it's been so long.
What's been so long?
Like, he hadn't seen Ida in so long, and why was there such...
He said he hadn't seen her in 20 years.
Yeah.
How old do you think Ida is?
Maybe like 30?
You think she's 30? She would have been 10 fighting in the Resistance then.
Yeah.
10 years
old. Oh,
old.
not looking a day older. Oh. Interesting.
There is actually more afoot there than what appears. And then Papalimos like, hell's take me for giving you that mask.
I don't know what any of that means.
Let's move along.
I don't know
then.
what's going on.
Let's not worry about it. Hello, boys. Many of our number are still out in the field, but I believe Orchard's party should be returning shortly. Huzzah! Have you heard, Akali? You and Papalima have returned! Oh, he was so jazzed. We have not had a chance to speak, but the mere sight of them was enough to raise our spirits. Huzzah! That man was doing a whole jig.
I guess she could be 40.
You think Ida's 40 years old?
I mean...
You're really just gonna go with that she's just old, and none of that was strange.
Yes.
Okay. You needn't say a word, Akali. I know. I know. Wherever she wanders, no matter how far, she will always be with us. When you think about it, we have accomplished quite a lot in recent days, have we not? Though there are, of course, some regrets for missed opportunities. A pity we were unable to deal with Ilbert and the Braves once and for all, for example. Oh, Ukahali's in here. Are we just gonna kick him out so we can have our super secret Scion meeting? Welcome home, Akali. I trust your journey was uneventful. You will be pleased to hear that Thancred has secured the crystals. He sent word a short while ago. Once he has delivered them safely into the Temple Knight's care, he will rejoin us here, and we can declare this matter officially resolved. While awaiting your arrival, I took the opportunity to contact Y'shtola and Kryl and brief them on all that has occurred. I also requested that they return to the Rising Stones at their earliest convenience. Now that our lost friends have been found, it would seem meet to discuss the future. Ariandre has been removed from the friendship circle.
He's always been back there anyway.
Back in the Solar. It's been too long since we were all together like this. Not since after Moonbraider.
Oh, yeah.
Much has changed since then. We ourselves, most of all.
All our voices are different. It's peculiar.
Though not all who were lost could be gathered here today, we may take comfort in the knowledge that those who are not are carrying on the fight.
While I am grateful to our friends in the north for their hospitality, it isn't half good to be back.
But, as Papalima rightly said, much has changed since we last stood here. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are not as they once were, nor should we be.
Tuberty, the sequel to puberty.
Our travels in the north brought us into contact with a host of fine and generous people, and their selfless deeds serve to show me that it is not lofty causes that should inform our actions, but our hearts. And I hope that the Scions might continue in this manner, as individuals driven by individual principles. Provided we all sincerely desire to work towards Eorzea's salvation, I believe the paths we follow to achieve it need not, and should not, be dictated by any single ideal.
Companions bound by a common purpose, free to go whither they will. The idea is not without merit. Very well. I shall resume my research of the primals and the elder gods of Eorzea. Should anyone have need of my findings, you need only ask. I should be glad of your continued assistance.
Well, my main purpose in coming here was to see the signs of the Seventh Dawn restored and my dear friend found. Nevertheless, having involved myself in your struggles, I feel compelled to see them through to the bitter end. For Minfilia's sake. That is, if there are no objections.
You will always be welcome here, Kryl.
Urianger, can we trust you to carry on your investigation of the Ascians as before?
Regardless of mine own desires, I am undeserving of your trust, having so villainously deceived you all.
Now, I'll hear no more of that. It would be disrespectful of Minfilia's wishes. She entrusted matters here to us, that we might protect this star and understand the truth which hides at her heart. Mayhap I can handle the former, but I think you far better suited to the latter. No?
Very well. Then out of love for my Lady Minfilia and Moonbreeder both, this shall be my solemn charge.
Papalimo and I should probably return to Thanalan to keep an eye on the Resistance. There's still the matter of the Griffin and the Amalja, not to mention the new Imperial Viceroy. That little lot must be worthy of our attention, right?
And what will you do, Alize?
You know I have no great love for organizations and formalities. That being said, this new approach you propose is not wholly objectionable, and we've always got her to keep us from bickering. But I will suffer no titles. I am not here for House Leveilleur, nor to walk in Grandfather's shadow.
Upon that point, we see eye to eye. If it please you, you may think of me as but another comrade in arms.
Well then, Alfie, I, for my part, shall see to the paperwork and the finances with my characteristic aplomb.
I would not have it any other way, Tataru. And we mustn't forget you. What now for the Warrior of Light?
To strive for those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Indeed.
The path behind us was fraught with hardship, and the path before us will be no less unforgiving. But a new dawn shall break over the realm, and I see before me the faces of those who will deliver it.
It's official then. Gods, I hope I don't regret this. Leave it to me, Akali. I'm sure she's, I'll make sure she's properly introduced to everyone. Same as it ever was. It would seem that I'm a scion then. Some derive comfort from such titles, but I cannot say that I feel any different from before. Well, I have a twinge of pride. As agreed, we shall spend the coming moons conducting our own independent research. Should you have need of our services, however, you are of course welcome to seek us out. 'Tis passing strange to think we may never see Lady Minfilia again. After witnessing so many of our missing comrades return to us, I dare to hope that she might one day do the same. Oh, do not think I will be easily bested again. When my competition with Lady Ida has ended, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn shall crown a new champion of the squat. It may be argued that the great sundering of the source was an aberration, and the existence of 10 and 3 reflections an offense to the natural order. That, most assuredly, is the Asians' belief. 'Twas in the hope of opening mine eyes to that revelation that they first came unto me, imagining it sufficient to secure mine allegiance. Nor would they have been mistaken, were my heart a temple to truth alone. But as a devoted follower of Master Louisoix's teachings, and for the love I bear him and his, I hearken not to their words. I suppose I should not be surprised. With everyone standing in a circle, delivering grand proclamations about their future endeavors, she naturally felt obliged to make up one of her own. Oh. I have Sir Emmerich's assurances that the Temple Knights will henceforth keep a close eye on the Ishgardian crystal trade. Oh, and he extends his deepest apologies for your dinner having been cut short. Courteous fellow, isn't he? You would never guess he was a politician. All these little mistakes are beginning to add up, Anor. You must try harder to remain focused. I'm doing my best, Orchard. I am. I just can't seem to clear my mind. I keep thinking about you, and your brother, and me. Trouble in paradise, eh? She really did it. She really made it happen. Powerful woman. The most powerful woman in this game. Alright. Look at them, Macaulay. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Look how far we've come. The people we've met, the moments we've shared, the losses we've suffered, the tragedies we've overcome. All of us made us who we are today. Where we go from here, and what the future holds, only the 12 know. But I know that we will find out together.
One world's heroes are another world's villains. One world's loss, another world's gain. Where men go as one, there is life. And where there is life, my friends, if I may, I would ask that you entrust Tupsimati to me. Clouds gather upon the horizon, and as Master Louisoix's disciple, I would keep it close at hand.
I know.
Thank you. I shall guard it well. There is cause to hope. For every ending, every parting, marks a new beginning.
Well done, brother. You may resume your normal duties and rejoin the others. The coming battle should be our greatest yet, and I intend to stand with you all on that glorious day. True believers are so readily led. I have given them everything they desired, all for which they have prayed. I doubt you can say the same for your pawns. Get what you wanted then? Was it worth it in the end? There were some unexpected developments, but they were ultimately to our advantage. Be it to host a servant of light or dark, a world bereft of equilibrium is but a void in waiting, and a void is of no use to my master. I shall follow her emissary with great interest. As for the pawns whom you so pity, they have delivered unto me a gift, which I now present to you.
Damn it, Emmerich.
Damn it, Emmerich! The eyes of Nidhogg. Many were the candidates considered, but by your deeds you have proven yourself the most deserving. A man of boundless rage and bottomless despair, in whose breast beats a heart which thirsts for vengeance. Only you are fit to wield these eyes, for weal or for woe.
But then he'll just turn into a dragon like Estinian did. Wouldn't he?
You think Elidibus cares what happens to this man when he's got the eyes?
I'm talking about us. I'm like, are we gonna fight Nidhogg again?
Huh. So it was here all along. It's a special boy!
Damn, where is he then?
Wandering. The better question is, because I don't think you know where this is Cartano. This is the most heavily guarded. All three alliances guard this place. And this man just walked his ass right into the center of it.
With his third eye just showing to the
I know,
world.
well, I'm sure he was wearing his mask. Regardless, oh, just you wait, my pretty. You and I are going to have so much fun. This man will never stop being evil. This man has a hard-on for technology, so he went to the place where, and I don't know if anyone remembers this, in the center of Cartano, that is being so heavily guarded, and the reason it is being so heavily guarded is because the ancient analog machine Omega is there. And that's why he's there. Because he was the one that restored Ultima Weapon and got it running. He is the like master at Alagon technology. It's what he studied, it's what he's good at, it's what he was working for Garlemald for. He is the best at the Garlemald technology. So for him to be there with Omega is a huge actual problem. Because Omega is said to be stronger than the Ultima Weapon by a lot. Anyway, that is patch, and it ended in good time. That is patch, what patch is this? 3.4. So, and that's the end of Final Fantasy for the week. Next week, we will do, that's 5.5, yeah? Oh no, we have to do 3.4. So we have Gobbies, and
You want to do Hildebrand.
I have to do Hildebrand, I have to do Gabi's, and we also have to do the next step of the trials. That is what 3.4 is. Gabi's, the end of the Gabi story, the next part of the trial story with Utka Holly in there, and Hildebrand. So that is what next week will be. I actually think we'll be able to do all of that, assuming that the queues aren't too long. So that is that. That is what's on the agenda. Hildy and Gabi's and Primals. Oh my. I think we'll probably do trial first since Ukahali is right in there, so we're all set up to do that stuff. Oh, excuse me. I had like a weird hiccup and it hurt. Okay. Any questions, Miss Q? Confused about story beats? I've tried to explain as best I can.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Do you know who the Griffin is, by chance?
Didn't he say that we saved him?
That was the
during
fake.
Necrodania?
That was the fake Griffin. That was the false Griffin who we saved. The one who was speaking on the real Griffin's behalf.
Oh.
The real Griffin was talking to Elidibus.
Oh, and I guess the real Griffin just said brother, kind of like how church people say, like, oh,
Yeah,
sister,
yeah.
father.
We call them
Okay.
brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're not actually related.
Right.
Have we met the Griffin before?
We have.
Interesting.
We do know the Griffin. Oh, he's actually been mentioned in this stream. His name has been said aloud.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wild.
It is wild. I'm very excited.
I almost asked, do you know who it is? Like,
Why, actually, I do know who the Griffin is. It's Hildebrand. Hildebrand becomes main story qualified.
You would have made me do Hildebrand.
I
if
would have
that
made
was
you do
it.
Hildebrand if the Griffin was in fact Hildebrand. I do believe that
Manderville man.
I do believe that the Mandervilles are actually Uldan and not Alamegan. So
his name has been said.
His name has been said.
Wild.
I know, he's been mentioned in this very stream. If not, we will find out next week for sure, because 3.5 will be on Sunday, I believe. I do not believe we'll get through Gabi's and all that stuff before the end of stream. And 3.5 and 3.55 are split, so I'll have to be careful not to go too far ahead. Because after 3.55, or after we do 3.5, we have to finish the Void Arc series. And Hildebrand. And then we do 3.55. So, I think beginning of August we'll finally hit Stormblood. And that'll be exciting. I think we'll be cutting it close. Because, Endwalker comes out at the end of November. Endwalker comes out Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you, Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah.
Want released from your family? Have some Final Fantasy.
Well, it's actually incredibly inconvenient for the North America people because it's the holidays and everything. People gotta work and stuff on like Black Friday and whatnot. But they were like, it's the best we can do. I actually see it getting pushed back into December. But we shall see. Yeah, I have a strong suspicion that will actually be pushed back into December. But I will have to keep a close eye on that because we might have to switch up the schedule a little bit and put Final Fantasy as the to catch up in time It's the main thing of the week, which is what we were doing for Endwalker anyway. Because oh god, if I could only play Endwalker on the weekends, I'd actually lose my mind. I will be so spoiled, and I would I would be sitting there in grief because I couldn't play the game. Because I'm not gonna play it on my main character. I won't go ahead. I want to experience it new on stream. So yeah. Or we'll still be doing Endwalker slower than most, but it'll sound spicy. Yeah, so if things are looking dicey, if September hits and we are looking behind, I might have to switch up some stuff. But one day at a time. One day at a time. Alright, you good, Miss Q? Yeah. Alright, then I will call it here. Thank you so much. I am off tomorrow, but I will have a new game on Tuesday at 2 p.m. EST, which is Banjo-Kazooie. And then we are finishing up Nier at 6 p.m. EST. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I actually think Nier is almost done. I don't believe Route E is as long as I thought it was. So Nier is actually almost done, and we will hop right into it with Automata. We won't wait for the week to end. Just one right after another. And that will be good. So, I hope to see you there. Otherwise, have a lovely, lovely evening. And take care. Goodbye.